Hey guys, what's going on? It's Kaiger 1324 up here today with something a little bit different actually. Well, different yet familiar if you've been following me on my channel. A while ago I did a video called Kaiger's Memories. Now, it was a series that I was gonna plan to do, and I just never got around to doing more videos on it. But I thought, well, we're gonna continue on with that today. Basically, I already did a memories video on my memorable websites, and also a video on memorable things as VHS. Now, these videos are normally just me telling little bits of stories from, I guess, my childhood, really, sort of thing. But today we're talking about some memorable moments I had as a kid on my PC. Now, I'm talking about social games. I'm talking about free-to-play games. These games, I'm going to talk about some of the pros and cons of these situations I had, some of the more frustrating elements and some of the things I enjoyed about it, talk about some of the games that I played, and just sort of like a story, I guess, kind of thing. Excuse me. So, back in my day, so when I was younger, we had a PC, and then eventually we had a few laptops come and go. Now, our PC wasn't a built-up PC. Now, you got to bear in mind, when I was a kid, I didn't have a lot of games. Yes, I had games and game systems, but I didn't really play too much on those as much as I do now. Even now, I don't play them constantly, but I didn't have tons and tons of games. So, for me, to be able to play games for free was a bonus. Nowadays we get all these free games, free to play, Steam, Xbox free game, PS4 free game. So we can get games nowadays for free. Well, it's free to some extent. But I'm talking about social games. I'm talking about things like, these games that you would play on your desktop, on your browser, not games that you'd have to download. Now, some of them I did have to download a browser for them, but most of them you could play on your internet. Now, I'll talk about some of the more frustrating things first. One of the most frustrating things about it was, because I would normally play these with my brother Jack. Normally he'd be on the laptop and I'd be on the PC, or vice versa. That was one of the more frustrating things, was if we weren't in the same room, it often was kind of annoying, because if we had to meet up in this game to go off and do things, one of the most annoying things was trying to figure out where you were going to meet up, and I'd have to ask him where he is. I'd have to go downstairs, say, where are you, what you doing? Or I'd go down and tell him what are we doing, kind of thing. And it would be back and forth. Now I know a lot of people saying, why didn't he just sit in the room with you? It's just how we were. One of us was downstairs, one was upstairs. I guess that was the party chats of those days. These were before this was before Skype chats and well, we had MSN, but he didn't. This was before Skype chat and stuff was more commonplace. And you got to bear in mind also, this was also at a time where the internet weren't great. This was where also these PCs weren't great either. So that was one of the frustrating things. So we'd have to go, okay, I'm going to meet you in this place. Meet me there. But one of the more frustrating things was sometimes, like I said, not just finding each other, it's making sure you're on the same server. Yeah. Nowadays servers, you're all in the same game. It's kind of easy to find someone, but back then you'd have to make sure you're on the same server. Now, most games would give you a list of servers and you join one, but it was sometimes annoying because you join a server and then your friend, or in this case Jack, would try to join the same server, and it would say it weren't working because someone else had joined. So trying to find a server that was both in the same server was a bit of annoyance, because you got to think, you want a server with people so you can play against other people, but you don't want a server that's got too many people so you can't join. And like I said, internet weren't great back then, because sometimes I'd try to find him, and even if we were in the same server, I wouldn't see him. He might have gone to another place thinking I'm in the other place. And by the time I got into another place, he had already gone on to another place. And again, this communication thing was, just trying to find each other was so annoying. But another thing that's really annoying is sometimes, and because the games weren't we didn't have built-up PCs like nowadays, where you have built-up PCs. Internet, again, weren't great, so sometimes the game just wouldn't work at all. Some games you'd have to download, only to find out you couldn't play it because either your internet was too bad, or your PC was too bad. Like I said, we didn't have these built-up PCs like today. I mean, I don't have one today, but you know what I'm saying. But that was really annoying, trying to find each other. Because in some games, again, trying to find each other is essential because you wanted to do game missions together or quests together in some of the more action-orientated games, or the RPGs, I guess, MMOs, I guess. I'm not talking about Warcraft or I'm not talking about Warcraft or Dota or things like that. I'm talking about just sort of games you played on your browser. I'll tell you which ones in a minute. Trying to find each other was a pain in the ass. And another thing that's really a pain in the ass is that finding each other, not just through trying to find each other, making sure you're in the same place, is sometimes your characters would look similar to other characters, because back then is that you had basic character creation. Sometimes it was just a case of choosing what your character's colours were in some games. Again, because we were young, we didn't have the money to buy premium stuff, and whenever we did have premium stuff, it was a privilege. Not now. If I want to get a game and I want to be privileged enough to buy the premium package, I can do that. So trying to find each other was annoying. And again, your names as well, because sometimes your names wouldn't show up, so you'd be thinking your friend is with you, or your brother, like Jack was with me, but it was someone else because they looked so similar, and it was just a nightmare. Another thing that annoyed me was, again, the game's not working. Sometimes there'd be like maintenance or game updates and stuff, and a lot of the time you didn't know about it. The game would often tell you the game's not loading, and then there's maintenance as you're trying to play the game. Not like today, where we've got the internet and we've got Facebook and we've got all these things, Twitter, Facebook, the internet, to go and have a look. And people always, as soon as there's an update or, maintenance, some games even tell you there's going to be maintenance. But that wasn't a thing back then. It was, you were lucky. And I know a lot of people are thinking, really, why were you playing these games? You had other games. It was just something I did. I think some of the funner things about it was I had a lot of fond memories of these games. It was just fun to be able to play these stupid little games together, and it'd be so funny. I have a lot of fond memories of it. Again, Flash games as well, but I'm talking more so just about games you'd have to have an account for, those sort of games. Some of the games that I played now, one of the most obvious was Club Penguin. Everyone played Club Penguin, RIP. I remember playing Club Penguin. It was a fun game for its time. A lot of fun. Again, you got to remember I was a lot younger then, so obviously it was my sort of thing. I remember the sled racing was so fun. It's trivial and menial nowadays, but back then it was awesome. It was so fun. And whenever me and Jack were playing, all of a sudden I would fall over down the sled, and all I'd hear in the other room was this massive burst of laughter. And again, having the little snowball fights, going to dance and trying to find things together. And the card game as well, there was like a dojo card a card combat game. And I remember they used to do actual cards you buy in the shops, and they give you codes to use these cards in your game, and it was sort of like a trading card thing. We all had trading cards as kids. Maybe that'll be in another video. But yeah, I remember that, and I remember doing all that stuff. It was so much fun. I'm a bit disappointed the game did get shut down, but that's what happens with these games. They get shut down, and sometimes they bring them back. It's just how it is these days. It's not that I'm going to be going and playing Club Penguin nowadays, but maybe it would have been nice to revisit it one day. And I remember one day we finally did get the premium package, the club member, whatever, and I remember we got it and we got all this cool stuff, and then when the club left, when it ran out, the membership ran out, because like I said, we didn't have a lot of money as kids, so we'd save up our pocket money or something and buy this, and we'd only have a month of it, and then when it was gone, we lost all our stuff, and it was so annoying. So yeah. Another one I occasionally played was Mushy Monsters. I occasionally played it, but not that much. But just putting it out there, I used to play that as well. I used to play Bin Weevils. It was based on a TV show of the same name. That is the one that I remember a lot of these frustrating moments from finding each other. It was similar to Club Penguin, but it was fun as well. You know, you could do stupid little things like crossword. You could play pool and stuff. I remember it is such fun. I'm going to have to check out if some of these still exist. I know Club Penguin doesn't, but some of these other ones I know certainly still do. But Binweavers would be an interesting one to do as a gameplay video. Or just try it out with Jack. I might see if he's up for it over the weekend. And again, a lot of these phones have been transferred over, games have been transferred over to phones now. And another one I used to play was I used to play some of the Quest games. Adventure Quest is the main one I used to play. Now that wasn't an online game; it was single player. It's still going to this day. And I remember a little story about this game is as a kid, all I wanted was a Guardian membership for this. But as a kid, I didn't realise as a kid you could pay American money in English money and then do the transfer rates and all that stuff. Like you say, as a kid, you don't really understand the concept of credit card, debit card, money. You don't have those sort of things. So I always thought I could never get this premium Guardian package. And eventually, one day, when I did get my credit card, I did actually buy it for myself. And I've still got it to this day. And that's what was great about it is that what was great about it is once you bought it, you've got it forever. And I think that's how most games should be with these premium packages. If you buy premium, you should have it forever. But, you know, you're going to lose money from a business point. That's not a feasible thing to do. But Adventure Quest did that. And I remember that. Didn't really play a lot of Dragon's Quest. Not really into that one. Did play Met Quest. That was a similar game. That was a really fun game. I remember playing that a lot. And Adventure Quest Worlds was another one me and Jack used to play together. It was more of a RPG, but multiplayer, I guess, an MMO version of Adventure Quest. I remember us playing that one a lot. I think that's still going. I'm going to have to check some of these games out, just see if they still work. I remember that remember when I got the Guardian package and thinking, oh my god, this was my childhood complete, man. I'm gonna have to set it up my laptop and maybe play it over the weekend or something while Jack's on the PlayStation, just because it's, oh my god, guys, I love that shit. Habbo Hotel, again, I used to play Habbo Hotel. I admit nowadays it's just people trying to get each other's Skypes and stuff. Back in the day it was MSN, man. And I've talked about this in my memorable websites video, but I remember Habbo. But Habbo nowadays back in the day it was so tight. Like literally if you wanted an item you'd have to pay real money. And again, like I said, online games weren't a thing that I could do. And I remember doing all these games and stuff in Habbo, like Cosy Change, where you would dress up as a character, or someone would say a topic and you try and dress up as someone like that. Menial things these days, but back in the day it was so much fun. And I remember a lot of people I met, but I made a lot of people on MSN just talking on MSN. Nowadays I'll admit Habbo Hotel is people just trying to get each other's Skypes, and it's guys trying to get other guys or other girls, you know, webcam, Skype sort of thing. So be a bit careful. So if you're a parent and your kid's playing Habbo Hotel, just be warned, people are doing that. So be warned. They do that in a lot of games these days. So that's why I don't really play a lot of these games, because again it's all these people trying to get your Skype and stuff. Some people on there are just genuine people, but a lot of the time again it's social games, so you're trying to make friends through this game and then make friends in real life. Sometimes that happens, but be very careful with that. Another one I remember actually was CounterStrike 2D. And there was a top-down 2D version of CounterStrike. Played it a little bit. Again, I played Star Wars: The Old Republic. I sunk so many hours into that game. Back when it was subscription-based. It sort of is today, but it isn't. It's weird. They've changed it. I remember I had one of each character, and I loved that game. I put so many hours into it. So disappointed that I can't get it on my laptop. I even tried getting it on Heather's laptop before it broke. Well, before the screen broke. Couldn't get it, so when I get a PC, that's going to be on my top list. Highest priority. I know a lot of people might hate on me for that, but I love that shit. Didn't really play Warcraft or anything. It just wasn't my thing. What else did I play? I'm not sure. Oh, Roblox. Yeah, I used to love Roblox. I would never have guessed back in the day Roblox would be on console. I loved Roblox as a kid. Again, back in the day, it was. Back in the day, Roblox was really fun. It's got so big today that you can buy toys and everything of it nowadays. And like I said, a lot of these games still exist to this day and have got bigger and better. But I remember playing them when they were in the early stages, and all the problems were there, and I remember all the problems were there, and it was just like, you had these frustrating things, but you pursued through it. And the state of social games today, I did play the occasional Facebook game. I played Yeovil, which was basically Habbo in Facebook. Um, Again, similar story, most people are trying to find each other. Will you be my girlfriend or my boyfriend in game? I don't understand all this stuff, but it's what kids are doing these days. Again, you have things like Farmville and stuff. I occasionally played that. Sims Social was one that I used to play. Essentially, it was Sims free play, but a little bit more cartoony. I remember that game. I remember I used to be in a relationship with my friend, and he fucking left me. Bullshit. But I remember that one. There were a lot of games. Now, social games today are bigger than ever. How many games on Android are social games on iPhones, and you can play most of your social games on your phone nowadays rather than a PC. I think that was one of my favourite things, was just going onto the PC, just playing these games, man. You didn't have them on your phone. You didn't have you didn't have this sort of thing where you just get your phone, play it for a little bit, and then go off and do whatever. Back then, it was you made the most of it. When you're in school, and it's sort of like, I've got my weekend off, so I'm going to go and sit on the computer for 8 hours a day playing these games. And you just did, man. You just did. You made the most of it. Nowadays, it's quite, I'm sit here with the TV and the Xbox, and I've got all these games and stuff, and I do feel a little bit sort of nostalgic for a lot of these websites and stuff. So I'm definitely gonna have to get back into it and play some of these games just to see how they've grown since. The last time I played Adventure Quest was when I was living at my mum's, I think so. It has been a while, and I know I still got my account. I'm just trying to hope that I've still got my account. And the worst thing is, that game hasn't come out on phone. That needs to come out on phone. There is an Adventure Quest game on the phone, but it's not that one, which is kind of a disappointment, really. Although, I might be wrong. I'll check that in a minute, actually. But, yeah, there's all these games on your phone. Facebook games nowadays, a lot of them are like shooters and CounterStrike clones, and it's mad to think this is what Facebook games are nowadays. Back in the day, it was basic stuff. Nowadays, it's grown. I know a lot of people shit on phone games and social games, but a lot of us did play these games, and a lot of us shit on them nowadays because they've grown into something that we never had as a kid. So they've grown bigger, and we've gone, most of these games I can play on the Xbox or PC or better. But it has grown a lot since, and it's good to some extent. It is good. It's always nice to see these things growing, but again, you get a lot of shit ones. It's just how things are these days, and I just think that nowadays people take it for granted. But back in the day, these were our life, man. We played these games, and there's all these other ones like IMVU, so Second Life, and all these other weird ones and stuff like that. So they still exist. And another thing I remember is when I got a laptop, you would get a thing. I think it was like Big Fish or something like that, and you get these. It would be like it was like Steam, I guess, but basically you would have a bunch of games that you would get tokens for, so you could have about 5 or 6 goes, unlimited access. But when you played the game, you could get the full game, but you'd have to have tokens, and once they ran out, you'd have to buy more tokens or buy that game. And I remember a lot of them. My mum used to play a lot on the laptop as well, playing a lot of these puzzle games, and I remember a lot of them actually. And I remember staying up playing like Diner Dash and things like that, and trying not to use all my tokens, trying to get the most out of it. It was interesting, and I think some laptops and computers still have them built in nowadays, but I'm not sure. I think you can download them and stuff. So, but I remember them as well. Just thought I'd put that out there. But this has been a little bit of a different video kind of thing, just to see how it goes. I might do some more memorable videos, I guess. But I just thought I'd let you guys know that I've been there. I played all the social games. You probably have too. You might even still play them today. If you guys play any of these games still, and you know, feel free to hit me up. I'm always up for playing some of these games, man. I'm always open to playing games, man. Be my friend. No, but seriously, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's something a bit different, a little bit of story time, I guess. It's nice to take a trip down memory lane, as big as it is. And there's so many more memories to come, guys. So this is just a change of videos. And of course, feel free to like the video if you enjoyed it. And of course, feel free to comment. Let me know what games you played, if you still play them. And of course, if you want to see more things like this. And of course, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already and join the family. Welcome still. And of course, have a nice day. And I'll see you in the next video. Just before I go, I probably won't do a video tomorrow because I'm at my mum's tonight, and then tomorrow we got a busy day with my family. We got to go calm and get some presents, and then Jack's doing his shaving, his hair thing for cancer. Raised over $1,000. Well done, Jack. Always saying well done. I might record some of it, maybe. I don't know. But there'll probably be a video on Sunday when we come back. Maybe. We'll see. If not, see you Monday. So see you soon, guys. Bye-bye.